Okay, I mentioned to you on a video we just did, the last video on St. Kitts closing down their fast-track citizenship program and where they're going to be having a residency requirement. We still don't know the residency period that you would have to spend before you apply for the passport. Hopefully it's going to be around 1 year, but that's just me talking. I don't know. It could be 3 years. It might be shorter than that. Who knows? But I think they should keep it right around 1 year. If they go beyond that, I think they're going to get a lot less business. But it sounds like you're physically going to have to move there. The fast track program where you just basically pay the money and get the passport and invest, in real estate or do a donation and no residency requirement, that's over with. So they're in the process of changing the law on that according to ZIZ, and I went through that on the last video. Now, I'm going to give you some options that you can go on. You can, if you're going to be moving, you're willing to move. Remember, it's not just visa-free travel and getting a good passport. Remember, St. Kitts doesn't have an income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate, no inheritance tax. So if you're willing to pick up your bags and be out of the U.S. or wherever you're at long enough to where you're not having to pay taxes, worldwide income in that country. And of course, the U.S., they still tax you on your worldwide income. But you can get what's called the foreign overseas exclusion, which this year it's $130,000 for a husband, $130,000 for a wife if you're married. If you're single, it's just $130,000. So you can still qualify for that. So by moving to St. Kitts, not just getting the passport, you can reduce your taxes literally down to zero. And this is something I would encourage you to do. If you don't want to do that and you're just trying to get a passport, I would not go with any of the other fast track programs outside of St. Kitts. St. Kitts has made a commitment. If you're willing to do whatever that residency period is, fine. The other ones, which is Grenada, Antigua, Dominica, and St. Lucia, I would wait and see what they're going to do on the commitment. I can tell you, I would say there's a 90% chance they're going to comply, and they'll probably give up their fast track program. The reason is they've got the visa-free travel to the Schengen countries, which is just under 30 countries. They're not going to lose those, I can tell you. The public in those countries would go nuts. They would probably never elect that guy again. So I don't see that happening. This is the problem. If you take a chance and you go in one of those other fast track programs now, like Grenada, Antigua, Dominica, and St. Lucia, this is the problem you can run into. If they don't comply and they don't decide to give up their fast track citizenship program, they're going to lose all those visa-free countries. But this is the problem. Once they lose those visa-free countries, man, you might never see it come back in your lifetime. Once the government makes changes in Europe on this, and I saw this happen when St. Kitts lost a visa-free travel to Canada, they never have gotten it back. I mean, they've tried and tried. They still have never gotten it back. Once it's done, you're probably not going to see those countries come back in your lifetime. I mean, this is how slow things work when you deal with government, especially in immigration. So you're going to be paying a premium price because remember, they doubled, some of these countries doubled their donation option rate. But that's because you were having all this visa-free to the Schengen countries. If that's lost, I would not be picking Grenada, Antigua, Dominica, or St. Lucia. I would be looking at some of the other fast-track programs. We deal with all these, okay? So I'm not biased to any particular country. The ones I'm going to tell you that you ought to pick, and we do all these too, is Jordan, Egypt, Turkey, Nauru, and Vanuatu. Now, I'm going to tell you the one that I like the best, and I'm going to go through their visa-free countries, the tax laws, and everything, and then you may more or less make a choice from there. Jordan has 66 countries visa-free or visa-free on arrival. These are countries and territories that you can travel to with that passport. Egypt is 50 countries. Turkey is 114. Nauru is 87, and Vanuatu is 91. Now, although Turkey has more visa-free countries, I always tell people, don't get a passport if you don't like the country's tax laws. In other words, if you choose to move to that country, I know that a lot of people says they're not going to go, but I've seen this happen over and over and over again. Look at the flag theory on my website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. Memorize that flag theory. It tells you right on that flag theory, pick a country that has really good tax laws to literally where you can get your income taxes to zero. Should be a pure tax haven status, territorial tax system, or non-dom type system, okay? Turkey does not have that. It's got more visa-free countries on this list, but I'm going to tell you something. Their tax brackets off is as high as 40%. I'm going to go through the other ones too on their tax brackets too. But you need to pick a country that has good tax laws and good visa-free travel too. Now, none of these countries I'm going to mention here, again, Jordan, Egypt, Turkey, Nauru, and Vanuatu, none of them have visa-free to the Schengen countries. St. Kitts does. They want to keep that. Okay, they don't want to lose that. Okay, and probably Grenada, Antigua, Dominica, and St. Lucia, they're probably not going to want to lose it either. But this is a problem. If you pay their premium price on their donation option or whatever, now real estate, if you're going to go in, you're going to take a chance to go with the real estate option in these countries because you're going to pay less government fee. Like in St. Kitts, you're only paying like a $25,000 government fee for one person, and then you have to purchase the property. If it's a condo, minimum is $325,000. But again, St. Kitts, you're going to have to reside in St. Kitts, and we still don't know the time period yet that you're going to have to do that before you can apply for the passport. All right, let's look at Jordan. Jordan, again, 66 countries you can travel to, visa-free or visa-free on arrival. Problem with it is you're looking at a tax bracket as high as 30%. Egypt has a tax bracket as high as 27.5%. Again, Turkey's 40%. Nauru is 20%. And Vanuatu is the only one that does not have an income tax. And Vanuatu also has the second highest number of visa-free countries behind Turkey. But I would put taxes as a big prime decision making in this. So that's why I would pick Vanuatu over the other 4 programs, which is Jordan, Egypt, Turkey, or Nauru. That's what my opinion is, okay? That's what I would do. If you're willing to relocate, I would not go that route, because if you go that route and then you decide to relocate and then you go with a St. Kitts passport, you basically thrown a lot of money down the drain in a passport. Like if you pick Jordan and then all of a sudden you decide to relocate to a tax haven. Now, if you pick at Vanuatu, you can relocate to Vanuatu and there's no income tax. But this is the key. You're going to have to get visas all over Europe. Okay. Now, is it worth it to relocate your business to a place like maybe St. Kitts and pay no income taxes and then have 154 visa-free or visa-free on arrival countries and territories? So you're looking at, St. Kitts literally Egypt, if you do a comparison with Egypt, it's got more than triple the number of countries that you can go to visa-free or visa-free on arrival. So, and what you don't want to be doing is getting 2 passports that overlap on a lot of countries, because that's just a waste of money. That's why I'm telling you, you need to think before you do this. And if you think you're going to relocate anyway, I would go with St. Kitts, because they've definitely made a decision to do it. If you go with Antigua, they haven't made a commitment yet. And the thing is if they decide not to, basically have a residency period, then they're going to lose all those visa-free countries to not only to Europe, but they're going to lose any sort of visa-free or even the ability to even get a visa probably in the U.S. They're still coming out with a decision on this, but I don't think these countries are going to forfeit their visa-free travel or their ability to even get a visa in Europe or the U.S. That's why I think all of these countries are going to give in they're not going to throw in the towel and basically, just say, screw it, we're going to go our own way. I don't think you're going to see that. And I think if you get one of these passports in the fast track program, you're going to regret it, other than St. Kitts, because St. Kitts has already made a decision to get have a residency requirement. So you need to really think hard about this. Also, folks, you can do us a big, big favor. We do not monetize our channel, and it would help us out tremendously on our algorithm. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen here. You'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, or how to get a second passport as quick as around 4 months to a year, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.